Yes,
Hot water?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
My brother has landed me in hot water, as he normally does, and it's been the story of our sibling rivalry for many, many years. Um, it's a bit hard to know where to start because I guess there are so many incidences. The One stage, it was a Guy Fawkes night, November the 5th, which of course has been cancelled because
What is Guy Fawkes for people who don't know what that is?
Guy Fawkes, he was an English gentleman who decided that he'd had enough of politicians and wanted to blow up Parliament. And he had the gunpowder plot, but he got caught, unfortunately, and so we're stuck with our politicians still to this day. Um, but and in commemoration of his attempt, every year on the 5th of November, there'd be bonfires, and there would be what's called the Guy, which was jackets and old trousers and whatnot, stuffed with straws, and the poor chap was put on top of the bonfire, and we'd
You're
have
obviously
fireworks.
talking about a scarecrow, right?
A scarecrow.
Just wanted
He
to
was
make
long gone.
sure. Just making sure people didn't think that like I was a real guy and stuffed with straw and put on top of a bonfire.
Yeah, we didn't push straw into a real guy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make that clear.
Yes, his name was Guy. He wasn't a male as such, but we decided that a group of us, including my brother, decided to get up to a little bit of skullduggery. We had our fireworks, we had our bangers, our crackers, whatever, and we were wandering around the streets of Elizabeth at night and lighting these things and letting them off. Probably one of the highlights of the night for me was some person who obviously enjoyed Guy Fawkes had left a tin rubbish bin right on the pavement, an empty one, and looked practically new. And I think they'd placed that there just for little fellas like us. And so I picked the biggest banger I could, lit it, and put the lid on, and we all scarpered. My brother was a little bit slower off the take, and so I'd run a reasonable distance, and so we all sort of turned with anticipation, and this thing went off, and the lid of the dustbin went extraordinarily high. It must have gone up to about 30 feet. My brother had stopped, lost sight of the lid, and I could see this thing gradually floating towards him. And I was trying to get out a warning, but it just didn't come. And believe it or not, he'd stepped right into the place of this lid. Came down and hit him on it. Now, whether that, scattered his brain a little bit more than normal, I'm not quite sure.
Watch this.
But anyway, I think it might have been my suggestion, but I would cheerfully put the blame on him as well. As we were sort of exhausting our fireworks, we were going past our house, and our letterbox was nailed to the top of the post and the fence. Mm-hmm. And there was a particularly nasty spider inside of this thing. So I thought it was a really sort of cunning plan to actually put a bang inside this.
So it was your idea?
Yeah, well, I might not have come up with the suggestion, but I certainly came up with the way to implement it. And so Julie sort of lit this thing, put it in, and actually locked the lid of the letterbox to make sure the explosion would really get rid of this spider. Well, yes, it went off and it got rid of the spider, but it lifted most of the letterbox off the post and just left the metal bit nailed to the top of the... It made an enormous noise, and my father obviously was pretty close to the door because he raced out because we were sort of a bit open-mouthed like, oh my goodness me, that wasn't supposed to happen. And he saw the smoke enshrouded shreds of the letterbox, and he said, "Who did this?" And I said, "They went that way." And anyway, my father really didn't believe me, but my mother said, "Oh, our boys wouldn't do something like that." And we said, "No, we wouldn't." I guess the things explosive had always been sort of in our family, and while I was at uni, I'd learned to make a very good smoke bomb, and including the fuse. You could get the ingredients in those days, and I was my brother and I were actually driving through my Standard 8, which was a fairly dilapidated, small little car with an 8 horsepower motor, so you can see it's sort of a pretty racy machine. And my brother was with me, and he wanted to light one of these smoke bombs that I had, and we were going along Norwood Parade. And he said, "Can I do it?" Yeah. I said, "Well, if you do, you've got to drop it through the floor, because there's a big rusty hole in the bottom of on the passenger side."
As there is.
Yeah, well, that's right. And so he, with great glee, he lit this thing and dropped it through the floor. So it looked like we were completely innocent. And it was a magnificent bomb. It actually filled Norwood Parade, and I could see the cars having to slow down and come out of this white smoke. And of course, we sort of roared off at great speed in our little Standard 8, laughing our heads off. Yes, so my brother managed to get me into all sorts of strife.
Your brother, yes.
Yeah, it's your brother.
Yeah, that's right.
So kids, don't try these things at home. These were different times.
Very different
They
time.
were different times.
Thanks for watching this short clip of Life Bursts. Make sure that you hit the subscribe, like, and follow button. And for more, head to rawcut.com.au.